Everyone. My name is Sally Cruzan, and I am part of Divas That Care Network. And this network is where women can engage and tell their story to inspire and empower others to work on their dreams and to contribute to changing the world to make it a better place for the next generation. And Divas That Care can be found, the network can be found at divasthatcare.com. And it can also be found on Facebook at Changemakers Cafe, Spotify, blogtalkradio.com, Stitcher, and YouTube. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Laura Brown. And Laura and I have both been part of a wonderful community headed by Coach Kebie Whitehead called the CCC. In this community, the CCC stands for Commitment, Collaboration, and Community. And these tenets are very similar to that of Divas That Care. So let's spend a few minutes and learn about Laura Brown. She is a mother and grandmother and lives in Connecticut. And I have known Laura for, I think about, 12 years, 15 years. I'll have to go back and really do the math. But Laura, welcome. I'm very excited to have you spend some time with us. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, your family? Let's start with your family.
Hey, thank you for inviting me, Sally. And I am mother. I have one son, and he has a daughter, and he's married. And I have a life partner, Brian. I've been with him over 20 years, and he has two children, and we have two grandchildren from his son. So we have three grandchildren together. I live in Waterford, Connecticut. I've been in this area since middle school. My parents were in the military, so we traveled a lot. They retired in this area, and I pretty much stayed here in Connecticut and have a 9-to-5 job that I've had for many years, and I also have some side businesses.
We'll talk about the side businesses in a minute. One thing how we met years ago is that we were both working for a network marketing company that sold jewelry. And we definitely we share that passion. And I know we've talked about this before, that it's so much fun to give women in particular an opportunity to treat themselves and kind of celebrate who they are as women. And one way that we were able to do that back in the day was through jewelry parties. And having that social connection with women is just so important. And then over the years, we kind of reconnected on social media. And that is such a huge platform. Obviously, we're using that platform right now to share some messaging. But I love that piece that we could reconnect. I've moved several times over the past few years, but the power of social media can keep us connected. Another thing that connects us is we both love the water and the ocean. And I think it's just really interesting how people kind of gravitate to each other when you have like interests. So I love that we share that. I also know that you love to travel. Where are some places that you've traveled to?
So a lot of our travel has, over the years, have been to a lot of the Caribbean islands. Again, we love the water and we love the beach. So we've been to probably 12, 13 different Caribbean islands. And we also travel a little bit in the U.S. We traveled to California a few times and did the Pacific Coast Highway up and down. We've been to Florida a few times. We follow the UConn women's basketball team. So if they go to the Final Four, we follow them. Unfortunately, we don't have sports this year, so that's not really going to be happening. So it's unfortunate.
Right. Well, I think one thing that, another thing I love about social media is I know that I've seen some of your travel photos. And once again, that connection is so important. And that's one of the reasons why I really love this platform of Divas That Care, because no matter where you are, women can connect and women can share their stories and find the similarities and empower each other and lift each other up. So I also know that you like to volunteer in your community and that you've also been active in work settings, doing some support work with unions and things like that. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about those experiences?
Okay, so the first 21 years of my work life, I was in a union shop and I was an administrative assistant, but I was also a union steward, which I really loved. It was a volunteer position. We didn't get paid for it, but I really loved to be able to represent people, to be able to speak for them. So we worked closely with the company, with human resources, and I was the union representative and just representing people when they needed help, medical benefit help, or any help with their workspace. I also was a union counselor, so if there was any needs in the community, say, just because you have a job doesn't mean that you can always pay your bills. There might be some issues that come up where you're struggling. I was always there for them in that capacity because I took training as a union counselor and I could reach out to the different agencies and help them get what they needed. If it was an electric bill or a heating bill or even food, I would guide them to where they could go get food at the local food pantry. And I also volunteered with food drives, Boy Scout food drives, and went to the food pantry and sorted out cans for days. And we did turkey drives, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to get into the community and do that. And then I moved into a non-union job, which I've also been in for about 20 years. And we also do outreach in the community. So we pass out food once a month with a local church, or we'll go to a soup kitchen, read books in local schools. So there's just a lot going on in the community that I like to get involved in.
I love that. So clearly you're very civic minded, very much a servant leader. So I just love that about you, Laura. And once again, those that are listening, you can hear this podcast and others on divasthatcare.com, Spotify, blogtalkradio.com, Stitcher, and YouTube. And I know also, Laura, that that you are also passionate about health and wellness, and you have been involved with network marketing companies surrounding that as well. So that makes total sense to me after hearing how much you care about people in your community and making sure that they're served. I want to talk a little bit about why you choose to do that. You're a busy person with a full-time job. You love to travel. You have grandchildren. Why have a side hustle, if you will?
Well, one of the reasons I joined the first company was a product that really attracted me, and it was something that you, Sally, had shown on your Facebook page, and I was very interested in the product, and you sent me a sample, and I used it, and immediate relief from pain. I suffer from a lot of pain, and I've been like that for as long as I can remember, so I was totally thrilled that the product helped. And I joined the company. And of course, when you have products that help you, you want to spread that word. There's a lot of people out there that need products that can, help them and work for them. And if I'm able to share that, even share samples with people, that's exactly what I enjoy doing. So a lot of times over the years, I've joined companies for a little extra money here and there, to fill the gap, or just to have fun. Sometimes I just enjoy the products and just do it, for fun and to show people and to help people. So I've done the companies over the years for both reasons, for filling the gap where I haven't had enough money, and then just to fill my time.
I love that. That is so true, that a lot of companies, network marketing companies and direct sale companies, they fill a void for different people for different reasons, and none of them are more valid than others. So I think that's really important, because sometimes women who are in business, sometimes we don't feel successful, like we haven't gotten to that point where what we perceive as success, when in fact what we might have wanted is just to be part of something bigger and learn some new skills. So people need to give themselves more credit, especially women. And I love that we have this platform where we can empower and raise each other up. So Laura, thank you for spending some time with us today on Divas That Care. Once again, those that are listening, you can also find us on Spotify, Blog Talk Radio, Stitcher, YouTube, and on Facebook at Changemakers Cafe. Thank you and take care.
Thank you, Sally.